Hello everybody, welcome back to Roblox Rise of Nations tutorial. This is going to be an updated basic tutorial. My last one was about a year ago, and it was done with a very terrible mic, and hopefully some of that really annoying background noise is cut out. This is going to be a little long, probably running around 20 minutes, hopefully, at minimum. It might be over, and I have no idea of telling, but basically, this game is hard to learn. For a Roblox game, of course, it's really not that hard, but for Roblox, it is. So it's going to take some time to get used to. I will try to answer all your questions in the comments. I've been trying to ever since I started, but sometimes I miss it. All right, so we're going to teach you just a couple basic things on how to get started. So let's say you wanted to play Italy. Now, this is in a VIP server. There's nobody else in it besides me. In a normal public server that you can join, there's always tons of people, and people are always invading crap. So this is just us, and we're just here to learn. So right here, I want to invade Slovenia. Normally, you can't click on it, at least a nation where there's only one city and one amount of soldiers. Your average amount of soldiers is always 20k. Every single nation mostly starts off of 20k. Some more powerful nations will start off like 40k or 80k, or in instances like China and USA and India, they can start off with 1 million. Um, that's just because they're so massive and they're very powerful. So we're gonna invade Slovenia. All right. What I want to do, since I can't click on it, hold down Shift. Assuming you have a shift, make sure it's left shift. You just hold it down, and now you can click on cities without clicking on soldiers. So I'm gonna click on this city. Now I have this menu right here. You want to click on the flag so that way you can get into this diplomatic menu. So if you need to practice, just go to the flag, go to flag. Now I can't declare war right away because I have to justify. And how you justify a war is you go justify war goal. And there's three different choices. Conquest is if you want to annex them, meaning you control that city for however long you want it. And you'll just basically, if you want to conquer a nation and turn it in, like integrate it, like make it into your nation, you choose Conquest. Subjugate, I believe, is for puppeting a nation, meaning you don't exactly own them, but you control them, and somebody else could still play a puppet nation. And this is a little pop up. I'll tell you what those are later. And liberation is a thing that you can do. So if a nation is puppeted or they are already have been taken over by somebody else, you would use a liberation so that way when you take the occupying country, all those countries that were taken by them will be liberated back into their own independent nation. So kind of like a nice way to do it, but conquest is what we're going to do because I assume all of you want to expand and get more powerful. So we're going to click on conquest, 75 days. You click justify war. So now you can look down here, click on that. It's going to happen on June 14th, 2020. So in a little while. And in that time, I'm going to teach you about a couple things. So I'm going to drag this troop up here. And I can't really, he's going to go over water and it's going to take forever for him. You can't really do that. And you can't declare war when they're inside your borders. So what I'm going to do is I can't send him over a straight line or do that because he's just going to go over the ocean and it's going to take a lot longer. So here's how you do it more efficient. You use this line, but you hold down left shift again and click, and now you have a new line. Basically, he's going to go up to here at this point, and then if I click on this, he's going to go up and turn right because this is where the line's going to be. So I'm just going to click. Look at that. Now he's going to go up here and take a right this way. And you can do any direction you want, okay? So how you would make a troop is if you just want your normal troop, you click on one of your cities, you go to units and infantry. And infantry, basically, if I do that, this infantry with like no modifiers or anything, he's gonna come out with your average experience, meaning more experience, and you can tell by this bar right here. This means your average experience. When your guys come out, they're gonna be one level down from this. This is like okay experience. One level down's like just think of them that they're rookies and they're not exactly experienced yet, like these guys or something. All nations start with their home defense troops, the ones that they spawn in with. They're all this like semi experienced. So whoops. Sometimes that can happen. Um, Basically, if I want to make troops that are experienced, what I always like to do is you click on your flag. So then yeah, it brings you in this menu and you can go through all this and explore it yourself and find out what some things mean. I go to military. You can make all kinds of things. I really suggest to explore around and just kind of get a feel for things because there's a lot I can't go over. I have other tutorial videos, but even a lot of stuff I have made doesn't go over everything because there's just so much. Um, I go to military doctrines, and for your aerial, naval, and army. This all gives random buffs to whatever you select. You have to have 500 military power, and you do specialization. And basically, it's gonna increase your manpower by 0.4, which really isn't anything. Um, your infantry recruitment time will be 2 times as long, but their starting experience will be 1.75 times more, meaning by when they spawn, they're already going to be this level. They're gonna normally your guys' level, like if I average be at this line, they're gonna be like right here. So that's a lot better. I'm not gonna spawn the infantry since I don't need to. I have the better numbers. Um, let's check if that war just phased. Oh, yep, it's done. So it's in diplomatic actions. That pop-up's gone. Oh well. What I'm gonna do is shift click nation, declare war, conquest. You gotta select your thing first. Conquest and declare war. So now you two are at war. Sometimes they have allies. It'll tell you if you're declaring war on their allies too. AI, like non-player nations that nobody's playing, they'll never have allies unless somebody played them, allied a bunch of people, and then left. Then they'll have allies. But AI nations that never were touched by anybody will never have allies. So I can do a lot of things here. I could turn off reinforcements, meaning when they start to lose some troops, they won't get those numbers back. That's very good if you want to conserve manpower. Manpower is like your troops, basically. How many people in your nation are willing to sign up and fight, I guess. You could train them. That's if you want this to go up, if you're experienced. You can assign them to groups. I assume that you should probably go explore that because I'm not going to go over that. They're kind of, they're okay. Um, what I'm gonna do is I always like to turn auto merge off, so that way if I ever split these guys up into different groups, or like if I split them in half or something into different individual units, they won't just like go back. So I always like to split up whenever I'm invading something, like maybe a couple times. This is just like a 2 city nation. See, 1, 2. I don't have to. You don't really have to. It's really more preference. So I'm gonna do auto capture Slovenia. So when I press auto capture in whatever nation I want to auto capture, um, basically this unit will just go around capturing cities by itself, and you don't have to basically click on it every single movement telling it where to go. But keep in mind, it can do a mind of its own and walk into things that it shouldn't be walking into and die. So just watch out. So I'm gonna press Slovenia. See, now it's moving. And now, since I have more numbers, and there's basically I have a lot more numbers in them, or at least units or soldiers. They're gonna go over to city, and now they captured it, but they still have this city, so its capital's gone. Now I'm going over here. I'm not doing anything, by the way. I told it to auto capture, so. And now it has finished capturing Slovenia. So some nations that have a lot of cities, like Russia, it can take a really long time. So that's why you'd make a lot of units to go fight it. So now it's gone. It has no cities. It's completely collapsed. Here's what I'm gonna do. Whenever you're at war, their flag will pop up in your bottom right. So you're gonna click on that flag, and this is like the war menu. You can add allies into the war to help you out. Sometimes it doesn't always work because, like, I don't know, it's weird. Um, so I'm gonna go to negotiate terms because we want to annex them. Annex means you control the cities. It becomes yours. It simply just becomes a part of your nation. And the AI will only ever accept these terms if they're completely dead. So you press annex. Now you can select individual cities, but that's C State Treasury if you want some money, and you can turn out however much you want. And C State Resources, so all their oil and crap becomes in your nation. I suggest doing this every time, but be aware. Um, if you don't know how to control people's happiness, you probably shouldn't do this because basically when you seize any or when you do anything else besides annex, they get really ticked off and then they can just rebel and basically turn back to being independent, and all that progress or work you spent taking that nation just gets undone. So you don't want that. You can demand war reparations, meaning they just give you money. Make a public state if you want, enforce ideology, liberate, all that. But we're just going to do these three. Make sure you select them, though. Otherwise, I won't be here. Are you sure? Yes. Now, guess what? I seized our oil, and I took all this. So now they're my country. Would you look at that? Alrighty, so now you know how to take a nation. I'm going to go over a couple things that are in the menu and help you out if it's your first time. Because taking nations isn't all to this game, and that's not all you can do. If you want to select multiple cities, you would hold down left alt and drag, like hold down your mouse and just move it. Or like hold down, click on your mouse and just move it. Left alt, hold down to click and move it, and you can basically get a little highlighter. Sometimes I have a bad alt button on my keyboard. It should work for you. And that's how many cities I selected. So with this, you can throw in a bunch of cities. Or things to add to your cities. Some of these you need special resources to get, which you can trade, which I'll show you right here in a second. And then for units, this is how you get a bunch of units at a time. You can just use these. Same thing with buildings. You need special resources for a lot of these. The only things that you don't need resources for are infantry and artillery, and I think there might be a couple others, but that's the ones I know on top of my head. I don't think you need for anti-aircraft, yeah. Unless it says a little higher thing like require, like highlighted thing like requires like this, you don't need it. You can just get it. And Navy, all it does is just consume 2 units of oil, which I have 10.4, so I could probably get around 9 or 10 ships. But ships are very expensive. So what's next is you click on your flag, and this is your economy. So this is how much all your money and stuff and war reparations. I don't have any. You can sell stuff and you can make money off trade. So I have what is 1 million. Well, no, this is really 1 billion, but I always say 1 million because it's the thing I used to do when I started playing, and I never realized I was actually 1 billion until I looked at it for more than a second. So I have $1 billion. My economy, and this is good. You always want positive numbers, and right here, this is how much I make, and this is how much I'm spending. And if this has a negative sign, then that means that I am in deficit, meaning I'm losing money, or I'm losing more money than I make, and you can go in debt. And when you're in debt, you can't buy anything, and it can be hard to get out of, and everybody in your country gets really upset, and a bunch of revolts can happen. So you got to do your best to figure out things and how to sell money. I have tutorials. Sell money, um, sell resources or other things, or have people give you money by maybe offering them something. I have other tutorials about how to make some, like how to better your economy. You can go watch that because there's so much to this game, so many little things about each and every one of these tabs that I can't do in one video. Um, So for country, I'm gonna start from left to right. For country, here's your formables. You can basically be something else besides your own country. Like the Roman Empire is the coolest one. I've done it before, but I haven't done it in a public server with other people. I've only done it in VIP server multiple times. No, I'm sorry if I'm sniffling a bunch. I'm a little sick. Basically, you have to own all these countries on the list, basically annexing them. And when you do, you just click on it, and after a couple seconds, you form into a new country, and it's super cool. It betters your economy by a lot. Um, it can be pretty hard for this, especially because everyone plays Europe. A lot of people do, and so that means you have to kill everybody. And players are pretty good a lot of the time. Everybody's gotten kind of good at this game, so for your first time, I would pick a smaller and more insignificant country, unlike Italy. Like a really good starter country, I would say, is I did this in my first tour. Nigeria is. Not a lot of people are around Nigeria. Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt. I don't know. There's confrontation with Egypt and Turkey a lot, so maybe if you're feeling kind of confident, go ahead. If you can get Japan, yeah, it's a pretty good starter one. It's a powerful country, so sometimes China likes to fight it, but I would just say, um, Brazil. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the world superpowers. So I'm gonna go to rankings. This is how who's the best country in the world. So these top four, I don't know about Japan. I actually don't know if you need. I don't have a whole lot of XP, but that's because I've always played larger nations, like majority of my time. And the smaller the nation is, usually the more XP it gives you. XP is just kind of like a thing that you get a certain amount every like minute or something. See, it just went up. Um, Certain countries give you more and certain countries give you less. I've always played kind of bigger nations and would always try to better myself by like fighting other people or trying to hold on to certain regions. So I always trained and did my best to hold on to things, but that was bigger countries I was playing, so I won't nearly ever have as much as XP who's with compared to somebody who always main small nations. So XP doesn't determine on how good you are. I see people who are playing on alt accounts with like a couple hundred XP and they take over like a giant continent or something. So basically, back to what I was saying, the America, China, India, and Brazil all take a certain amount of XP to play them. It can take a really long time to be able to play some of them. So it took about a half a year when I first started playing to really be allowed to play China because I was always playing big stuff, so it took a really long time. So that's why you can't play those big boy countries, sadly, unless you play for a certain amount of time. All right. So after country, conscription laws. If you want more manpower, you just press on that and you turn it up. But there is negatives, so like pros and cons to everything here. So just keep in mind that, guys. Ideologies. So if you want to change your country's ideology, you can. Socialism is the best in the game. It's kind of, at least personally for me, nationalism's really good too, but socialism just really helps out your military. These are probably the two best. All this sucks really bad. Non-aligned sucks pretty like a lot too. It gives you nothing and -3 stability. So stability. This is kind of crap stability, but it's when this goes in red, that's a bad stability, and the lower your number is, the less stuff your population is going to be contributing to you. The higher it is, the more stuff they're going to give you. Try to keep it high. There's things that you can do, such as in modifiers or well, policies. You can click on one of these. It takes research power though, or well, political power. All these takes political power. War exhaustion. If you've been in a lot of wars, your country kind of becomes exhausted and you can really lose stability fast. All right. And there's other stuff in here. Explore it yourself. I don't want to make this go on for too long. Diplomacy. This is your view of your own country. You can release or view your own country. Just kind of what I just pressed right when we were looking at Japan. Economy, I already explained this. You can even do a city overview. So if you want to really go in depth, Mr. Math guys out there, I know you. You can look on how each and every individual city is. And you can even press select all if it becomes really annoying just to select the cities by highlighting them. Technology. There's a lot. Basically buffs for units, buffs for your economy, buffs for diplomacy, basically buffs for everything. Everything in here, it never gives you anything physical, but like there's motorized infantry. I had some guy ask me. He says there's motorized, but my infantry stays infantry. They're like not on trucks and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's just what they say. But it gives you speed buff. So you can look through all this, guys. And technology, military, you can, yeah. All right, military, I already explained this. Military is what I didn't explain. So if you make a military group, like, I don't know, gibberish, right? Oh, this is not gonna work. Oh no, it did. See, that's my military. Wait, yeah. Sorry, it looks like the Chinese military leader name for a second. It has no leader. Basically, if I want to like put a group in a group, like a military group, bam, they're in Kwaikokakwa, I don't know, whatever gibberish that was. Military leaders, army, because this is the arm. These are land troops. If you want to assign them to somewhere, see, he has 22% attack, which this guy's really good actually. A lot of the leaders have like they have something really good, they have something really bad. Like they have a pro and con. This guy has no con, and he has a really high level of attack bonus, and he gives you a lot of X, or he gives your soldiers XP. So I clicked on from the sign, and I clicked on this. Now Marco Oresto, I don't speak Italian, is this military leader for this group, and he's gonna buff these guys. But when your infantry fight other stuff, there's a chance that he might die, so be aware. Alrighty. For your first time, you can choose any of these maps down here, like how you view the world. Diplomatic is probably the best to see your own country, so it removes everybody else's borders. If you want to see the entire world, you just press on political. Resources. This is how you view the resources of the world. If I click on oil, yeah, I had to zoom in. This is all the oil in the world. Fertilizer, nobody has a fertilizer, so I'm not going to click that. Yeah. There you go. A lot of these things nobody's going to get because AI nations don't know how to get some of that stuff, and you can research for it. Alrighty, guys. Please leave all your questions in the comments. I tried. This is just like the most basic and simple because the game changes. This is updated with better mic and everything. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah. I do have a Discord server. It's kind of dead right now. I have a Patreon. You don't have to buy. Just like don't. Yeah, I don't know if you want to. Yeah, money. But yeah. I also got a live stream at the time I'm posting this. I have a live stream tomorrow, so you can come watch that. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you. See ya.